How's it going out there in the interwebs? Red Gum Burl. That's what the title is, just abbreviated. Um, Part one of this is up yesterday, so if you want to watch it, ta no. So I've just put these bits of paper here. I've got a couple of cracks on the outside. There's one there. It's pretty vicious. I can guarantee that's going to vibrate a bit wider. So I took it inside last night and tried to do a bit of a preemptive strike and put a little bit of glue down there, and it ran out. So I put a bit of paper there to stop it. And then the same for this side. There's a crack. You can't see it, and I'm not moving the camera. So it poured out that way a little bit too. So. And as you can see, it's got a myriad of other cracks. Like most of these run, at least halfway down the bowl. Not really sure if I'm going to get a thin bowl like the other one. And in saying the other bowl, the bugger is getting cracks in it. Every day when I wake up, it's got a new split in it. I just look at it, it's like, do I have to resin this thing before it falls apart?
Got a mind of its own.
Yeah, and I don't like it.
That's the joys of red gum, unfortunately.
And would some of that come down to the heat that I applied to it with the burner, maybe?
No,
probably
not. No.
Just over time, releasing.
Yeah.
Thought so. Needs to quit it already. Do any turning today, Dr. Bob?
Yep, I was outside doing some stuff, and I got a very interesting anonymous present. A couple of friends of mine that I've been talking with, that they're not turners, they just like doing artwork and have been pretty good at it. And my sister's one of them. She uses airbrushes in her work all the time.
Yep.
Type of person, when she sits down at her work table, it's like a half a dozen brushes. I know I had to build the compressor system for it with all the quick disconnects for each brush and all that, and a compressor and a tank that would support them. Only uses one at a time, but she likes putting the different colors in and leaving them.
Oh, yeah.
She does cake decorating.
Yep. Yeah, you've mentioned that before.
So I was talking to her about things that I was having trouble with here. And I got a couple of presents today. Actually, yesterday by Amazon, and I was busy assembling them. She and one of her friends were upgrading equipment for a couple of new airbrushes. New to me, but she wanted something that was finer point, smaller needle, and then a holder where you can actually clamp it to your table or board, and then it holds the brush so you don't tip it over and the paint go out. Because I commented that on her. So I had all this stuff, plus a unique system for cleaning them. So I was busy playing with airbrushes today. I had turned some stuff, and I used a brush to paint it.
Very
and
good.
And then sanded it away and did it again.
Jay, get your rim level first. Always start with the outer edge and get that level first. Gives you an idea of where you're working to then.
What were you up to today, Robo?
3/5 and nothing else. Just
3/5 is a lot to drink.
No, I'm just I've just been pottering around in the workshop, putting some things away and working out what I've got left to do on this truck so as I can get it out of the road. And just general thinking time. Some would call it procrastination, I suppose.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, because it's Friday and that's, the end of the supposed work week.
Oh, well, it's holidays over here now. It's Easter Friday, Good Friday, so.
Ah, yeah, that's right. I gotta wait 2 hours or an hour and 40 minutes for that.
Yeah. Do you get public holidays in America for Good Friday and Easter Monday, do you, or not?
Well, it's been tradition that on Good Friday you get half a day. And it's kind of understood that other religions are allowed to pick a day and take a half a day for that purpose, or a day, and you get paid for it. But it's kind of been hate to call it a tradition, but the Catholic churches started the Good Friday to get paid for it. And then it went on to, of course, the other religions that have holidays of their own.
Well, they're all based
like
on
Hanukkah.
They're all based on pagan traditions anyway. Funnily enough.
Yeah. You go back far enough in them, it is that even the Catholic Church doesn't like to realize that it's based on a pagan.
Yeah.
They just turned around and started using it. Because the Romans celebrated the day too, well before,
Yeah.
One day it was a Friday to make it, I forget what it was for, and then the Greeks had it.
Isn't that flat yet, Jay? Sorry, I've got you on mute. I've got you on mute at the moment.
What was that?
Isn't the rim flat?
No, I want to get it down to a certain point.
Oh, rightio. Okay.
There was just a couple of decent chunks that got taken out when I was doing the other side, and
yeah, rightio.
I just didn't want them in the top of the bowl, that's all.
Yeah, well, see, what I'd do now is around that top edge, I'd put CA in.
In here?
No, not in there, around the outside of it. See where the cracks come through the outside?
Yeah.
Put your CA on now. And just work from the outer edge, don't come to the inside yet.
It's like you got some proper CA.
Yeah.
Only meaning it whether it's not in a little tube. I found a new source for my CA. I don't have to, knock on wood, buy a bunch of it. When I was in the hospital last week, one of the doctors come to check on me while I was on Saturday morning, based on tests I run Friday. But he came by to check on me, and at the same time, I was watching Sidney Drozda's class. And me being a geek, I take my backpack with me when I go because it has a battery backup, my tablet, phone, stuff like that. Because often, even waiting on an eye exam, because that's what I went for only before I got stuck in it for the 5 days in the hospital. I had all that in my backpack. Just it's normal. It's not a big. It's just throw it over your shoulder, put it on your back. It's not like for camping. It's like a student would have. So I kept, and I don't remember why, but I had a Chromecast dongle with me in it, and so I stuck that in the TV, and they give you this big, humongous TV you can watch at bedside. So I was casting Sidney Rosta to the big TV when he wanders in. And he recognized her because he's been to woodworking programs where she has been at. He pulled the chair up and watched it with me, some of the stuff she was doing. And they were just where she was busy, working with, I forget what it was, but the term CA glue came up. Someone was talking to ask her a question. So the doc looked at me and he says, "You use CA glue in your woodworking?" And we got talking about it. He says, "We have some really good CA that we use in surgery uh, and in the emergency room because, we can glue skin with it. It doesn't hurt it." I said, "Yeah, it's what it was designed for. I remember that during the Vietnam era." And he says, "Do you does it expires for what you use?" I said, "No, we use it too quick." So this next, I got to go for a follow up on this monitor so they can test it and hopefully take it off this coming Thursday or Friday. Uh, but he said that we just throw it away at the hospital.
Well, it has an expiry date. That's why.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. So I asked him if he could save me some. So I got a text message. He said, "Well, I've got I've rounded up 10 bottles for you. I'll probably have some more." Okay.
Good little score. Very good little score for sitting in the hospital bed.
Yeah, and he didn't realize that we used it, the small stuff like that, uh, for the work that we do.
Has he got any
So,
doctor friends in Australia?
well, if the thing is contact your hospital or your emergency services people because once they cut the top off the bottle, they got to use it within so many of days or hours. And typically it's per patient, but they might use two or three on a patient. And then they just throw it in the trash can. So you just got to get a hold of them to set it aside for you.
Unless we sucks and won't do it. No, it says it's only by chance that we found an arbitrist that doesn't keep any of the wood. They just chop it down and leave it, or they take it and they give it away for free. So
Yeah.
I put my name down for that. They said they'll send us a message the day before they're coming into the area. That'll be good.
Yeah. That's how I get a lot of mine. I've got them well trained because I've made stuff for them in the past. Our club does that. We learned that trick in the area.
Yep.
Uh, but with mine, the not being able to drive due to my vision, they put it in my wood pile in the backyard behind the garage.
randomly go out there and find wood waiting for you?
Yeah. Got some excellent walnut. I usually, with the COVID today, it's like they just know to put it there. So they don't knock on the door. They'll text me that, I know when Bill comes because I get a text, surprise, surprise. See, I hope that'll help you. And I'll go check.
I'm just trying to get it to run all the way through this crack here. Otherwise, that's just going to come off that little piece there. And then it's got a piece behind it that's pretty much going to do the same thing, but just following the ring.
Yeah, well, I'd fill that one with coffee grinds. That's the big one, is it? No, the other one, around the other side's the big one.
This one here.
Yeah. So I'd fill the outside of that now with coffee grinds and everything, and keep putting the CA into it to hold it together. Don't worry about the face of the bowl too much.
Yeah.
Just worry about that edge. So you're down about a quarter of an inch or a little bit further if you can.
Yep.
Because you're going to turn all the inside of it away anyway, so why bother?
Yeah. Yep.
Is it whole coffee or decaffeinated?
It's full coffee.
Good. I don't know what difference it makes, but
I take it it's been used and then dried, has it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No good just putting ground up coffee in there.
No.
waste of coffee.
Just coffee's too good to waste. That's right.
Matter of opinion.
Oh, if it's freeze dried, then yeah, I'd put it straight in here.
But is that coffee?
Don't know.
That's just water that they've put coffee in and dropping frozen.
Yeah.
Something I never could get in the habit of is instant coffee.
No, me either, to be honest.
Oh, I used to love my instant coffee.
Instant what?
Well, I've gotten a habit lately. I always get my coffee ready at night. Get the pot full, uh, water, and I'll make the put a. To me, it's a like I think it's a. I forget the measure, but I put it in stronger than normal. I give 3 scoops instead of the traditional for me too. But then again, after I get that first cup in my morning mug, I've got ice water in there now, but I'll take and have the first mug of it, and then I'll put that much water back in the coffee pot. It's a percolator, and let that go through and run again. Not perk, but the coffee maker. And that'll dilute it down. So I get the caffeine fix in the morning to wake me up, and then the other 3 mugs full I get are a little thinner in caffeine. That's some gorgeous artwork you got behind you. That's from your lovely half.
Nah, me.
You?
Yeah.
Wow. Multi-talented.
Yeah, well, before I did any type of woodworking, drawing was pretty much all, drawing trees and stuff like that, and symmetry. I could do one side of a face, but getting the other side is the tricky part for me. So, yeah, I don't know. I prefer to colour in, to be honest. But
Yeah, so do I, particularly if there's numbers on the page.
do you prefer it with the water paints in the page as well?
Yeah, and you just rub water over it and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've forgotten about those.
That's the bad extent of my artistic ability.
Yeah. It gets less and less for me. I don't colour in much.
Do you prefer oil or watercolor?
Oh, just plain old school pencils, really, if anything.
Well, at least with pencil, you can do shading and patterns. It's
Yeah.
hard to do with a paint.
And I got pencils like this. It's just the whole thing. The whole thing is it's for shading, really, but the whole thing is a pencil. There's no wood on the outside.
Right. Oh, okay. So it's like a crayon.
Pretty much, but a pencil, yeah.
Huh. I've seen them, but in the store, but I've never used any. Must be perfect for light shading.
Yeah, it's good to do dark and light. You just use the side of it, and you can do long streaks of it as well instead of having to like scribble in one spot.
Is it soft?
No, it's quite hard.
Huh?
A bit like a lead pencil kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But it doesn't come off on your hands when you use it.
I think that'd be interesting to use for skies if by the intensity is based on the pressure.
Yep.
It'd be really, you could do a stormy skyline really easy and creative that way. I don't need the clouds because if it's really stormy, the whole sky is dark and you don't see a fuzzy little cloud like you would in a cartoon.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Or I hope the glue's dry because I'm gonna try and turn again. You need a better chair, don't you? That needs to be on like a table that's raised up.
I'm gonna have a try for it.
What the hell?
All right. Maybe. My butterfly's back again.
No, it's fine. Don't touch the tool, hey, it's hot.
What? That's not a 40-40 grind, is it?
No,
Must be close to it.
no. No, it's
I'm just
45,
looking. Okay,
45 on the nose.
Yeah, it's still close enough.
Well,
Because it's a bottom feeder. I was noticing how he's coming down and picking up and going across the bottom that way.
no, it's fairly shallow. It's a fairly shallow arc, so you can get a 45 degree all the way down it.
Yeah. I've got the gouge that I've had for years, and I've never measured what it is, and I like it because I can come down the wall and across the bottom fairly steep. and I'd probably call it a 45, a 40-40. It came up just, I think, 38 degrees. That's close enough to be that. It's just something that I've always ground that way, and I look at it.
No, I sharpen all mine at 45 degrees, mainly because that's the angle that the tool sits at the rest on when I'm got it on the hip.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that the angle changes based on the person's height and the height of the lathe to center.
That's it.
I know
I
when I
don't.
got when I got this lathe was the Powermatic. I found within a couple of weeks I was regrinding my tool angles. And then when I got the wheels for it so I could move it around and level it, leveling pads, that raised the lathe 2.5 inches more. They're industrial wheels where you could put a key in, and when you turn the key, a pad comes down so you can level them. And when you
Yep.
want to move it, you turn the key the other direction, or you. I cheated. I found a bit for my drill, or yeah, my drill motor that just happened to fit it. Not a drill bit, but a
Yeah, nut runner.
yeah. And I put it in, and I just use
Yeah.
my drill to raise and lower it to level it. And I had to regrind my tools because it's odd. To me, it just didn't feel right. I just thinking about that, I made the heights different. So it's I'm lazy. I don't want to have to learn a new angle to hold it at. I don't want to have to think about the angle of the cutting. Because I remember as a kid, my grandfather and great grandfather, their arguments was that the tool is yours and you've got to make it yours.
That's
And
it.
heaven help you if you touch someone else's, unless they give you permission, but you never sharpen anybody else's tools. Because you can screw them up, except a skew. You could always sharpen a skew, but never a gouge. But then again, gouges were kind of secret. They were
Anybody,
things you put in the bottom of your box. This was in the well, they had learned in the 20s.
anybody that touches my screws is asking for an argument.
Yeah, I got looking. I still had, and when you go to clean out tool boxes where you've kept stuff that you're going to sort and use later and put where it belongs, but right now it's good where it is. I was doing that a couple days ago, and I come across two skews that were made, and they were hand forged, that were my great 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 grandfather's, and he made them, and he had his initials stamped into them.
Yep.
That the handles were long gone, they had worn out and gone. It was just the blade itself, and I found that they had rusted on me, and I spent a couple of hours cleaning them up.
No, they don't take long to clean up once you get into it.
You know, and oiling them,
Yeah,
but they were gifts.
I must admit, I don't worry about angles too much. As long as it's sharp, it cuts. So,
Yeah, I would say I'm that way too. I never measure the angle of a. It's just that's the way I've always done it. When people ask me, I have to go measure it, but then I tell them, hey, it's how you present it, and you have to be comfortable holding it. These people that take it and have to hold it up high like this to get the right angle because the lathe is too high for them, should be dropped a bit, or they need a platform to stand on. Coming open again through vibration, Jay.
I'm just double checking. That's all.
Oh,
there's a
I
couple
thought
of
maybe
cracks there.
vibration.
There's a couple of cracks in there that'll need 2 or 3 goes at filling, I think.
Mm. Yeah.
Is that thin, thick, medium?
Thin, I would have shown.
Thin, yeah.
Doesn't say.
Oh,
No, it doesn't, but it is. It's thin.
yeah. So you're pretty hot stuff today.
Yeah. Someone is anyway.
Good day, Chris.
How you going, Chris?
Yeah, hello. First one in.
Oh, no, there's somebody else lurking in the background there.
That might
That's
be
right.
Dr. Bob.
Oh, yeah.
No, it says that there's 2, but I've only seen one chatting. Chris was the first one to post.
You better say something then, Dr. Bob.
Your life will change now, Chris.
Uh-oh.
Chris got his half-inch spindle gouge today.
Yep.
Thank you. I shall have a look.
And Robbo can send it to everyone else. See? There's the other lurker.
One of the tree people.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All you got to remember, Chris, is Bevel is king. You can get away with scratching out bowls, but you can't get away with scratching on spindles. What you got to be careful of, Chris, is that you don't sharpen the wings back too far and always keep a curve on the nose. If you get a point on it, you were just wasting your time.
It looks like your wood is crying.
Who's what? Not mine.
No, I mean the way your CA is running down on the face.
Oh yeah.
It's like tears.
Need tissue.
Yeah, matter of fact, Chris, I don't think I've done one on the spindle gouge. Maybe I should.
There you go, Robert.
It's-
You wanted something to do.
It is all part of the. There is one on the. There's bits and pieces of it on the sharpening videos I've done.
Must be feeling sick. He's riding out quiet today.
Sorry.
Oh, the guy with the Harley. He's riding out quiet. He must be feeling sick. Normally wrings the guts out of it.
Oh, very nice, Chris. Did you do the bowl with the spindle gouge as well, or just the little stand on the thing?
Yeah, his Robo's videos are a wealth of knowledge. I've watched them 2 or 3 times. No insult meant, Robo. I was watching it when I was in the hospital because that's I had a selection of them on a hard drive I carry. That's got movies and stuff like that on it. I'll sit in the waiting room and watch a movie or something when I go to the hospital, or and they used to back the appointments up. If you have 2 a day, you could schedule one and then have enough time to walk and have the next one. But now with the people in some of the rooms, they're examination rooms, they sanitize between patients. So now you're waiting the equivalent of your appointment plus a second appointment where someone's cleaning it. So, you might have an hour and a half wait for your next appointment. So I take something to watch. And I've got a bunch of yours I take with me on my 2 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah, oh, that's all right. I don't mind. No, yeah, that's. Yeah, olive wood does turn nicely, I must admit. I've only ever turned one piece of olive. Yeah, you can use a spindle gouge on small bowls. In fact, it cuts a lot better than what a bowl gouge does on small bowls. But as a general rule, no, don't use a spindle gouge on a bowl. Never use a roughing gouge on a bowl, that's for sure. But now let's see if I can forward those photos into the group of us.
What do you mean? You mean sharing the page?
Yeah.
You remember how to do it?
No, wait on. I just want to see if I can. Aha, yes, I can. Right here. I'll look at it.
Yeah, you can even play your own videos.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you can share anything on the screen.
Yeah, no.
And
Yeah,
that's
you
one
share-
reason.
Yeah,
You shared
right
it in your group, Dr. Bob.
here. Yeah. Okay.
That's what I wanted to do with the other plum piece.
The more I go with this, the more I learn. So,
All right then, bugger off.
good stuff.
Is that any reaction I get? Bloody hell, mate. Boring. I need a little. On one of these days, I'm going to connect up my sewing machine motor that's got a pedal on it, so I can just sit it going really slow. You know.
Oh, look at that! I did it. Very proud of myself.
Yeah, well, that's very nice. I like that.
Yeah.
How top heavy is it?
Well, you can share it on a screen too.
Oh, I could. Yeah. Well, I know I can, but I can't work it out at the moment. So,
What? Oh, he can't work it out. So I'll take. Oh, that's a hint. Oh, I get it now. So you should ask Amber. I don't take hints. You see, you got to rub up, and shove them in my face.
I just hit you with a hammer.
Yeah, that works too. But I've got to remember it though. Getting there. I know, so is Easter, right? Oh, look at that. He's going to show the picture.
Oh, there's two of them in there.
What?
There's two of you in there.
Two.
Double trouble.
Yeah. Where? Oh, let's kick him out. See if I can go to the next picture from here. Oh, not that one. There you go.
Yeah, that's a nice piece, Chris.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really like
it
that.
really is.
I love turning to olive. It's really nice to turn too. I have to agree with you there, Chris. What'd you use for a finish? Oh, you just sent them to me too. Yeah, I've aired it out to the world now, Chris.
G'day, Blair.
How you going, Blair? Stop it! That's what happens when you let someone else have the controls, Blair, you see? This one over here.
We both
Hang
hit the button. Both hit the button at the same time.
How are you, Blair?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good, thanks.
Really good.
Hang on, it comes in threes. I have to remove you again. Hang on.
Yeah.
Wait, just shave it off. Just shave it off, Blair.
No,
Go on.
I have messy hair. I got out of the shower and I didn't do anything with it, so you get me looking like a pirate.
Oh, that'd be a good theme for an ad. Just washed my hair and couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
I think some people use that as an excuse for their bad driving too, or just wash the car and can't do a thing with it.
Said no man ever. All right, get turning, Blair. Come on, you're the focus for today.
No, I just dropped down because Tammy's up in the bedroom and she's talking to her brother. We've got the funeral and they're
Oh,
making
yeah.
all the plans and all that kind of stuff. So I just dropped down to say hello.
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 Hello. How are you?
That's pretty cool. What's on yours though?
What?
What's on the leg?
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about it. It's just a piece of chunk of wood, you know.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
You're doing a good
Yeah.
job. So
Wish we
Waiting
had
for
wood like that.
Waiting for it to the glue to dry. Really, just do a little bit, do some more gluing, do a little bit, do some more gluing because of the amount of cracks that are on the edge there.
yeah.
Yeah, we're having trouble here in Michigan. The governor just made the decision today that it's a recommendation that they do at home for school because they want to make sure that they get the staff and all the teachers and that support people that work in the private and public schools. The priority is to get them all vaccinated and then take the 60 days, but that'll put us close to summer. So they want to make sure that they can get them all vaccinated before they start again. So any of the public schools and that now are at home.
Oh, our kids are all on school holidays at the moment.
They are here too, until Monday morning.
No, ours have got a week and a half off yet.
We call spring break is just a week, the week of Easter.
Got to ask the question, Bob. Just to keep an eye on your depth there, Joe.
Well, they haven't had any problem that I know of. Depends on which side of the state you're on for some reason. On the east side, there doesn't seem to be any problems, but the west side of the state, they have some very opinionated areas of the state that you even have serious trouble getting the normal vaccinations that are given. That if the kids are in public school, they're mandated to have, but for religious purposes.
What kind of wood is that, Robbo?
Red gum. It's red gum burl.
Who's jealous?
Yeah.
I'm definitely
I am.
jealous.
I am. So right now they've got neighborhood cleanup kind of stuff, and I drove past at least 5 houses that have cut down trees and stuff, and so all of their wood is out sitting out in front of their yard. So I might have to go scavenge some wood tomorrow.
Yeah, so take the ute and the chainsaw.
No, I just throw it in the car and bring it back to my place and then chop it up.
Don't go too deep there, Jay.
Got miles to go.
Okay. Yeah, but you've got a bad habit of starting the cut at one end and just continuing right through.
All right,
And
I'll show it to you. Watch this.
You don't back off,
That's how deep I've gone.
right?
Look, it's only just starting to come off this top curve.
Okay. Oh, I can tell that one's going to look mighty nice when you put a finish on it.
It is. It's going to be pretty. Did you give that to him, Robbo?
Yeah.
So how long has that wood been sitting?
Have no idea, to be quite honest.
Hmm.
But red gum really, well, it dries, but it's never stable.
Oh.
It's a mongrel for that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Is it a cultured lumber or just
Oh, no.
anywhere?
No. That I think's river red gum, which is up along the Murray. But, no, they're not grown commercially. They take too long.
So that could be 100-year-old piece of wood.
Oh, could well be. Could be even older than that. But what happened a lot of years ago, we got a dieback. A lot of red gums got flooded and they virtually suffocated and died. Oh, well, time for a cup of tea. I'll be back in a minute.
Radio will be here.
Glue up time again. See if I can. I can see right through the bowl from this crack here, from the other side.
Uh-oh.
That's right. I got plenty of glue.
It makes life interesting.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Well, at least you can take and put that at 12 o'clock and let it run down in the crack from the side.
Yeah. Let's see if it wants to go in. Should see it start to poke out soon. Yeah, up the top there.
Uh-huh.
Yep, that's the only trouble with this wood, like Robbo was explaining. The bowl I did the other week with the pyro and stuff on it, I'm coming out every day and still finding more cracks and splits in there. I'm gonna
Crazy.
have. I think I'm gonna have to resin it to slow it down.
Is the climate that dry?
No, it's the wood. What Robbo was saying about the wood, it's just forever breaking, and you cut one little bit of wood on it, and it releases the tension in it, and it just goes crazy, starts splitting.
No. It's tight grained, eh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Take the tension off and it comes apart like a spring.
Yeah.
Well, Blair, how's your day been?
You're on mute, Blair.
Sorry. I was going to look at what the challenge is for April. But today was busy, and then after I got done with my first job, then I took up a second one because I had an old boss who works for a company that has apartments and stuff like that. Well, their maintenance guy did something to their back, and so we can't do all of these different service calls, and so I ended up going and fixing a ceiling. So I'm a little pooped.
You're a sheetrock man, too?
I'm a jack of all trades, master of none.
I like that.
I'm
I think
always
fit into
learning
that
something.
category. I'll fit into that category somewhere, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have too at my age. It's like when Brendan was busy, he's a 14-year-old, and wanted to paint his own room and pick his own colors. And it's like the doorstop broke some time ago, and I got him a new one. He never put it up. And that means usually people slam doors open and doorknobs go through sheetrock. And you'd think that they could learn that, or they get wrestling around and the two boys and lean against the door and push it, through the sheetrock. So I taught them how to patch sheetrock.
I'll get back in the phone.
No.
It's a good
And
thing
it's,
to
How
learn.
did you learn that? And I said, the way I used to do it, you don't want to do it today, where you cut out a piece and make a backer board and screw it in place, and with screws, and you just get the mesh today and put over it.
Well, they even have better things now. Like if you have a hole punched in the wall or something like that, they have like these really thin aluminum plates, and then they have that mesh over the top, and on the back of the aluminum plate, it's all sticky. So you just put it up on the wall, and then you mow it over the top of it.
Yes, that's what, when we went to get it, that's what he picked out to do. And it's the first I'd seen it with metal. I've always just used the mesh.
Yeah.
But yeah, The trend changes as people come up with new ideas. You think that's common sense. Why didn't I think of it? You could have been a millionaire. How often have you said that to yourself?
A few times.
Yep. But he's kind of proud. At 13, he patched his own wall. And I said, well, if you get mad and put your fist through it, you know where the stuff is. Better get it patched and fixed before your dad finds out. And he says, I can do that. And I said, well, that's up to you.
Well,
Yeah, I had a mate that had a habit of bloody punching walls. One day he hit a stud. He never did it after that because he broke every finger in his hand.
oh,
Oh, yeah. You got to be smart where you're punching.
Well, the best option is not punch it at all, full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, some want to show off, though. If you're going to show off and do it to show your manliness or anger that manly man have, look first.
Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law were debating about whether to extend their kitchen out. And, oh, geez, I'd been talking about it for about 3/4 of an hour, and we're all sitting there having tea. My nephews and everybody, my mother-in-law as well. And I said, no, look, I said, really, if you're going to extend, you need to extend it out this way. They said, oh, no, well, we're not. So I punched 3 holes in the wall. I said, now you've got to extend it. So that fixes that problem. And my nephews just, they were like deer caught in a headlight. Their eyes just went to sources and said, you just punched out a wall. I said, yeah, I know. I said, don't ever make me mad.
It's like when first or second foster kid I raised uh, is only for a summer, and then it ended up being 2 years. But it was really funny. It was being cocky, and he says, "Well, Mr. Elliott, have you ever killed anybody?" And I looked him right in the eye and said, "Nobody I knew their name of." And he just had this dumbfounded look. I mean, you don't kill people you know? He didn't say that. I just said there's nobody I've ever killed that I knew their name of. And you had to stop and think about being me I was in the military, and you don't know the name of the person that you're shooting. But it took about 3 weeks for him to come to that conclusion.
Yeah, just keep working down there, Jay, to get that the right thickness and everything now. Before you start removing all the bulk of it in the base.
Ah, you're a two lathe man.
yeah, the other one is turning pens with carbide.
It's for carbide work.
Hey, Blair.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck there, buddy.
One of these
Oh,
days I'm going to find. One of these days I'm going to find a soap and a toothbrush icon emoji or something, and I'll just put that up there then.
or the next thing, I'm going to end up getting a voodoo doll.
Sorry.
Next thing you know, I'm going to get a voodoo doll.
Oh,
Darky already has his. Sorry, I was just screwing around. There's a little branch, and I just wanted to see what
what it looked like.
what it'd turn like.
Yeah. Looks like a fruit wood, is it?
I think so. I'm not sure. It almost looks like a vine though too. It has really odd bark.
No, I wouldn't say it was a vine. But if you don't turn it, you don't know. That's the whole point.
Yeah. It's interesting. I may make a necklace out of this little guy or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you cut it off into little biscuits, you can do that.
Well, I do that a lot with my little end pieces. You know,
Yeah.
like that.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's what I always say. Like those pieces left in the chuck sometimes after you part off, they're good practice pieces just to practice hollowing on, or end grain cutting and all that sort of thing. So I turn them right back to the chuck before I throw them out generally, unless I'm in a hurry.
Yeah, I'm hoping one of these days we'll end up having, like craft shows and,
It will
again.
It will come. It will come again.
Yep.
Might take a couple of years, but it'll come again. The same as after the Spanish flu in the 1918.
Spanish flu, swine flu, bird flu.
AIDS, Ebola.
Yeah, but they weren't as contagious. It wasn't a pandemic. None of, we haven't had a global pandemic in a couple of lifetimes.
The Spanish flu was.
A lot of people died with that one.
Yeah. But no, I have faith in humankind that we'll get back to normal again eventually.
We'll figure it out.
Yep.
Well, I have a neighbor that's a cynic and simply blames Mother Nature because we're screwing up her planet so bad. We don't have enough food. We're polluting too much. We're doing all these things wrong, and we won't pay attention. So Mother Nature looks after herself like any mother would look after her kids.
Jay, that stuff's dripping into your bed.
Yeah, I've got sawdust.
Okay.
Sawdust there.
You're gluing the sawdust with super glue to your bed of your lathe.
Yeah,
Makes it pretty.
it's a project, isn't it? So, just sawdust.
Chisel
Yeah, it's got
dust.
It's
Skew
chunk
dust.
came flying out, so I turned it off to have a look, and it came out of there. I'll show you. Yeah. There's a bit of a cavity there.
That's all right.
So I just made sure it was full of super glue. I put it facing down that way first, so it would all run down that way, and then I put it that way, so it would run that way. And it squirted out a bit more than I thought.
You guys want to see something interesting?
Yeah.
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 Put me to full screen. So
Yep.
the property I'm at now, they had some, we had that big windstorm and all that kind of stuff. Anyway,
Yep.
they had
No.
some trees come down.
No idea about the windstorm. Wasn't
Okay.
windy out here.
Anyway, so they had to cut down the trees, but these were actually in the fence. That's part of the fence right there, and right there, and right there.
Or somebody hit that with a chainsaw.
No, I actually chopped into that with my chop saw.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And there's more in there. I thought this was going to be kind of a nice little bowl.
I think it will make excellent firewood.
That's what I think too.
And
Yeah,
if you if you leave the wires in, it's got a built-in grill already.
There you go. Yep, put a hot dog on one end.
That's right. Yep.
But you have to figure out how old the wire is, and is it a soft wire? If it's really old, it might be soft enough where you could actually cut through it. You might have to sharpen a few times, but that could be a very unique item in the bottom.
Just not worth the risk.
Nope.
I know when I lived in Manassas, and people here would know the history of Manassas, the first battle of Manassas and the second battle.
I've been to Manassas.
Battles for the Civil War. I lived there for quite a while when I worked for Uncle Sam. And actually lived in the city in the of Manassas, in Manassas Park, which is adjacent to it. But part of the Bull Run River ran through my backyard, and had the landlord cut down some of the trees and cut the wood up for me. And I run across all sorts of stuff, mostly gunshot, lead shot. And lead, you can cut lead so easy with any turning tool because it's so soft, but that's all they had.
Lead's softer than wood.
Yeah, and that's what I found. Some nails, but they weren't hardened nails. Granted, I had to resharpen, but I only used junk tools when I did that. Harbor Freight stuff. But the stuff you would find buried in the trees from the Civil War period, it was very interesting, and everything I turned I could sell. And it wasn't cheap because I had some friends that ran a tourist shop that sold stuff from the battlefield, and technically I lived on a piece of the battlefield at that time, and it was where so-and-so's army encamped and was encamped. So made really good money. A simple bowl I'd sell for $20 would go for $150 to $200.
The worst thing I've ever come across was a horseshoe.
Ooh.
Boy, you don't reckon that tore the end off the chisel.
Right?
Oh yeah.
That's enough to scare the crap out of you. Especially being in a tree.
Yeah, well, what had happened was it had evidently been put in the crotch of the tree, and the tree grew up around it. So we missed it, but we missed it with the bandsaw, but I got it with the chisel.
Crazy.
Yeah, I come across gun parts, knives, all sorts of stuff. And then when they were pulling the roots out, we found bones, human, and that's where everything's full stop. Park Service
Yep.
comes in and they send their experts in to go with a little trowel and dig up uh, the body and all, and it goes off, to someplace special. They're reburied somewhere with honor. But had that happen once. The tree went over in the wind, and here's a leg bone. We thought it was a leg bone of a horse, but now the arborist looked at it and kept digging around it. Nope, nope. We got to call the park service. They got to come out and handle it from here.
Yeah, I remember seeing that somewhere, Mike. Actually, Chris, at least that Mike Peace video where he turned the piece with the barbed wire in it.
I have to look for that one. That'll be interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder if
it's fence posts, trees that were used as fence posts.
Yep, got a lot of them in Australia, I tell you. But I wonder if Mike called it Barbie Bowl.
Ooh. Now, I found it interesting living there in Manassas with the park because of the river going through the back of the yard. And you'd look at the old maps and you'd figure out who was where and what was where. And you didn't know for sure. A lot of it was from word of mouth, of course, and from finds like where we found the body of when the tree went down. But when we'd have a barbecue, it was a big yard. It was about 60 foot deep. Depending on the season, because come springtime, when the river got high from snow melt, we had about a third of the yard gone. It was full of water in the back half. But later on, in by June, it was just you could walk across it as long as you walked on the right stones to get across it. It was one of and I forget which one, tributaries of the Bull Run River. The other thing we found that was supposed to go back to Park Service, though I found much later it didn't quite get there. We found a lot of old guns, flintlocks, uh, musket, of course. We
That would be
found
cool.
pieces of that buried in the ground because if the gun had backfired or blown up because of powder charges, that happened a lot. The guns that the South had, uh, they were making them too quick, and in doing so, according to the Park Service, people were saying the metal didn't get really hard enough, and if they overcharged it, they could actually blow up the flintlock. Because they were all cap and ball.
It just shows you, though, how much dust and stuff must be littered across the face of the earth when, things that happen. Somebody's got a YouTube or something on. Builds up 5, 6, 10 feet over, a couple of 100 years.
Yes.
Like there's actually cities buried underneath dirt just from the build-up of dirt over the top of
it. Like San Francisco or Seattle or Atlanta, Georgia. There's actually the original city parts of Atlanta that they call Atlanta Underground because that used to be above ground.
Yeah.
And Seattle the same way. When I lived out west, it was always fun. You go to Seattle Underground, and they had the streets still there. They had group of people decided to make some money out of it and put some restaurants and make it a night spot. And the streets actually went down to the ocean, went down to the big docks, because that's how they brought stuff in to their stores and to their warehouses and stuff.
Well, a large part of London as well is underneath it.
Yeah, I get a kick out of watching the YouTube videos of the explorers of underground London. It amazes me just how big their air raid shelters were and how deep they were and how well they were planned. They had shops and all sorts of stuff and offices underground there in London.
Well, Germany was amazing. Some of the stuff that they were doing there, wow.
I tell you what, if you want to see some underground thingos, go to China. They actually have whole cities underground because of the threat of nuclear war. Mum and Dad visited them when they were over there about 15 or 20 years ago. And they've got hospitals underground and everything. Very interesting.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be for the common Joe. They'd be cannon fodder.
Oh, naturally. Geez, you don't let the plebs have anything.
Heck no.
You need that for fertilizer for second generation growth.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. Stuff has to get moved around somewhere. It doesn't just evaporate.
Now, under Detroit, we've got the biggest underground salt mine, they claim, in the world. And it's like 5, 6 stories of salt. And it goes all the way from the Detroit area down around and under the Great Lake. It goes under Canada, and the mine itself connects somewhere in Pennsylvania, this salt. In World War II, there was actually World War I, they had a presidential fallout shelter in the mine just in case they needed it. Multiple levels. They used to, when I was a kid, we went on a tour of the mine. They put hard hats on us and jackets and take us around on trains within it to show us just how big the mine was. And the universities have pieces of it set aside for research.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I'm gonna shut this off and go back up with Tammy, and I doubt if I'll be on tomorrow night. We'll
Yeah.
probably be hanging out down with their parents and all that. So
No worries. Good to see you, Blair. Thanks
Thanks,
for coming
guys.
here.
Take care,
Thanks
my
for having
friend.
me.
That's going to make a gorgeous piece.
Sorry, what was that?
What he's doing is going to be gorgeous when he's done.
Yeah, it's going to look good.
That the idea of coffee in there just accents it nicely. I'm going to have to save my grounds now and dry them out and make some. Can't dry them out now. It still wants to freeze too much outside.
You just dry them out in the microwave and put them in a jar. Don't put them in a dish because they get knocked off the lathe and fall all over the floor. I'm having a shot at Jay. When he was over there, I gave him a dish of coffee grinds to put in something, and he knocked it on the floor. It went all over the bloody floor.
Well, at least coffee grinds keep the mice away. They don't like coffee. At least that's what I've been told. That's what my grandmother used to. If she found a mouse somewhere, she'd get some of my grandpa's coffee grounds and put it in a little bowl where she thought the mouse had the hole, and it wouldn't come out because it didn't like the coffee. True or not, I don't know. And then I had her sister, my grandmother's sister. With her, it was mothballs to keep the mice away.
I'll send you a bag of coffee, all right, Robbo?
Sorry, what's that?
I'll send you a bag of ground coffee, all right? So I was just saying to Amber, I said he didn't care at the time, but he's giving me shit about it, so he did.
No, believe me, Joe, I didn't care one iota. I can just nick down to the baker and get as much as I want.
I thought shit, he doesn't drink coffee, I just knocked over his whole friggin' stash with my fat guts.
I just couldn't help chipping you about it. That was all. I got to have something to tell you about.
No, I got the magnetic dish, the Harbor Freight dish. I got a round one. I got an oblong one. I love them with the magnets on them. I have one on the headstock. And then I got one I just stick to my toolbox, and if I'm working on small parts or something, I sit that up on my bench so I don't lose the screws and stuff. Those magnetic dishes are fantastic.
Believe it or not, I don't have one in the place. I never use them.
Well, once I started finding that doing a lot of the work because I do a lot of other stuff other than turning, and I take stuff apart and I want to keep all the pieces together and not get them lost. Small screws, stuff like that. They
If
go
I
in a dish all by themselves and they stay there.
if
They're
I'm
kept
dismantling
cool.
something, yeah, I put them into containers, but I've just got none of those magnetic ones around anywhere. I just
Yeah.
so if I'm taking the jaws off chucks, for instance, then I'll actually use a big magnet to put all the screws and everything onto.
So there's this one under here going across
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's a
It-
goodie.
This one going across here is actually on the outside, and it's a big one on the outside, and
Yeah, it goes right up to the top. I can see it.
it goes up to here, and it's actually you can see through it here.
Yeah, right. Well, I'd take it off with the chuck now and
Yeah.
fill that in.
All right,
Yeah.
that sounds
Tape
good.
it
Then
up.
that could be the end of my life for the day.
Yep. And it's about midnight here, so I'll catch you tomorrow.
All
Awesome.
right, then,
Thank you
Bob.
very much. Thank you very much for coming in.
Well, I enjoy it. Thank you.
Hope you enjoy tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Well, we have the DAWG tomorrow uh, in our afternoon. It's evening for them, but we have that. But yep, catch you tomorrow. I'll get some sleep. Get in bed before midnight.
Yes. Bye bye.
Take care, both of
All
you.
right. See you later, Bob.
Yep.
You're better off holding the bowl and undoing it with the hand wheel.
Yep. Well, it's pretty much done now. Holding it by the bowl, did you say?
Don't know how many bowls I've seen dropped on the bed.
So, which crack do I feel first?
Yeah, oh well. That's up to you.
Yeah.
I'll just ignore the last sentence there, Chris.
Just having a dig now, isn't he? Kind of hoping it would show it, but it's not going to. It's going to be naughty.
It doesn't look like the camera will go down low enough to see it.
No, it's been a bunghole, yeah.
That's a better. Can you zoom it back a bit or not?
Yeah, pull the camera up.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Yeah, I'll try and get those ones in the rim as well. Fill them up with coffee grinds too.
Yep.
So you even it all out now.
Yep. Wow, this is super runny, this stuff, isn't it?
Hey?
I said, this is super runny, this stuff. Super runny. A lot runnier than the other stuff, anyway.
that's really where you want medium or thick.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't have any of that.
That's all right. I don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Oh, good day, Neil. Jesus. Coming in late today.
How you going, Neil?
I'd take the lid off the bloody jar and just pour it into it. Because I think sprinkling it on, it's like putting salt or pepper on. Not enough.
Oh, you don't like salt and pepper? Oh,
I like salt. Don't
they're a
like pepper.
good band. Come on.
Oh, you poor thing, Neil. I'll get the violin out. Why did you want the dimensions of that bowl for? Just curious.
Because he's going to copy it.
Oh, yeah. Right. You've really got to lay it into it, Jay, and just cover the whole thing and then rub it into it. And then cover it with CA again.
Are you happy now?
Yeah, good.
Bloody hungry. Neil, tell him off, will you?
Just turn it, Neil. Why design it?
Good thing I've got some more some more coffee shavings. Right. Oops, on camera.
You're going to go through a fair bit on that to get, particularly to get all the edge ones filled.
Yeah, that's right. Coffee is one thing I don't really have a shortage of.
Yeah, I knew that.
Did you? How?
Mm.
You caught the tail end of it again, Neil. What's going on? Getting the tail end of stuff lately. Is that what you prefer? Oh, God. It's the end of the day, all right? Leave me alone. And I just say hot stuff is annoying. I rub the tip, squirt it out a little bit, and rub it. Put the lid on, and it sticks every time. That little white bottle that worked beautiful. It never stuck. Every time I did that, do it with this bottle, it goes to you. Run away. Oh, I see.
No, it's not showing up in the. Yeah.
Oh, the light.
That one is going to take some filling.
Yeah.
Geez, late lunch. It's afternoon tea time.
All right, I'm going to knock it on the head. Thank you very much for coming in and watching me do some glue ups, because that's pretty much all I did today.
Sorry, what's that, Neil? Coat the top with Vaseline. Yeah, well, it's the same down there too.
Coat the top in
Oh,
Vaseline.
no. That's right. You're 3 o'clock. We're 3 o'clock. Yeah. Yeah. Good night, Chris.
See you,
Yeah,
Chris. Thanks for coming in.
I'm just wondering what Neil's getting at there.
Is
Oh,
he telling me to do something?
yeah. Coat the CA bottle top with Vaseline.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Okie doke.
All right, folks. Take it easy. Thanks for coming in. Don't get too ugly.